Mutual investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Great. So now what I have learned is, I guess this dynamic fund is for all personality kinds. Is it true? So, okay, we now move to the next topic. What do all of us want from life? We have one common thing which all of us want from life: happiness. So our next speaker is in some way trying to help us understand how can his assets make us smile. So please welcome Mr. Amar Shah. He's the Senior Vice President and Head Retail Sales of ICICI Prudential AMC. Prior to taking this role, he was Head of Institutional Sales at Birla Mutual Fund. At ICICI Prudential, Amar is not a new name. In his earlier stint, he was Western Zone Head for Institutional Sales. He has a rich and varied experience of nearly a decade, out of which half of it is in the mutual fund industry. He is an alumni of Narsi Monji. He'll be speaking about smiling assets. Please. And after the presentation, if I can request you to stay on for a few seconds.
Sure. Thank you so much for this introduction, and hi everybody. And I think I loved the video. I must say that. Ajit, I think gave it to you. Very, very well done. Beautifully presented the whole concept. What I also liked about is the personalities. I now know how to deal with my boss at least, right? That was one big enlightenment for me. Just enlightened me a little more. But before I talk about the smiling assets and the whole concept of smiling assets, how do you create more and more customers who are just going to smile, because that's what you want. Let me begin with thanking this entire audience. It's a very, very good moment for us where one of our products has completed 10 years value discovery fund. And I thought that before I get into the presentation, I would just like to show you one AV around it and thank everybody sitting in this room for having faith into this product, having faith into ICICI Prudential on value discovery fund. So can I have the AV please before I start the presentation?
You always look forward to the sale season for good deals. Did you know that you could invest in stocks that are available at a discount? Presenting ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund, an opportunity to invest in good companies at discounted prices. ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund, celebrating 10 years of adding value to investors. To know more, consult your financial advisor or log on to icici-pruamc.com. ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. Tarakki kare. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Thank you. So can I have my slides, please? So what do we aspire? What does the customer aspire? Is the thought that we were pondering with sometime last year. And what we concluded is that you cannot have a situation where everybody wants to make that 40-50% return. It's not possible. Today you have a situation where a lot of the mid-cap funds have almost delivered 100% return over last 1 year. But the bigger question is how many people have that into their portfolio? How many people made that 100% return? If return or if creating that kind of a wealth was the only objective, you would not have had such a huge amount of money lying into the banking deposits, right? So there is there is a behavior over here which says that how much risk I want to take and what is the return that gets generated out of the risk that I take. And the thing that we tend to forget most of the times is the difference between risk return and a risk adjusted return. So we started thinking that what do we create, what do we give to you which ensures that your customers smile, your customers are happy, their goals are met, their aspirations are met, and how do we take away the risk of volatility, the possibility where customer does not understand so much of volatility out of its portfolio. So we created this theme where we kept on saying that what do I give to the customer where he just smiles whichever way the market moves. One thing that we believe as a fund house is what is certain is volatility, what is permanent is volatility. I have listed down just few of the variables and you can have a laundry list around it, but one thing that we as a fund house believe, which we are extremely clear about, is what is here to stay is volatility. You had a fantastic election result, you had a run up into the markets, markets have moved up. Larger section of the audience, including us, believe that we are here for a run-up in terms of market for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You will have reason for the markets to go up. But how many of us over here believe that it's going to be a straight line? We believe it's going to be upward slope, but it's going to be very, very curvy. It's not going to be a straight slope as we go ahead. So this, what we call, is the market's ECG diagram. This is the data from 1998 till now, and it's the daily volatility chart that we have plotted. And looking at this, and if I was an investor since 1998 till now, I would have just kept on telling myself that, is it possible for me to keep on buying every time this chart hits on the lower side and keep on selling every time as this chart keeps on hitting the upper side. So if you see, there is something called as even daily volatility in the market, and it literally is like that ECG diagram, ECG chart that we see. So as an investor, what do I want to do? A very, very idealistic situation, I would say I want to buy always cheaper and I want to sell as it has made money, as it has become expensive, right? But there are problems. There is a big psychological barrier. Let me tell you my personal example. As markets were moving sometime in 2008, trending towards the indices of 8,000, I've heard many people saying, "Ye 6,000 ho jayega. This is going to go to 6,000." And just a year back, many of these people actually kept on saying 20, I think it's heading towards 30. So I think we get carried away, we get swayed in the direction in which the market is moving. And that's the biggest psychological barrier that the investor has, that we as a community have. At the same time, even if you get it right, even if you want to do it reverse, there are a lot of operational issues, taxation issues, and issues basis which you cannot execute the whole trade of buying something which is very, very cheap and selling something which is very, very expensive. What we thought is that if these are the practical problems, what solution do I provide? As a manufacturer, can I create something where I can stand up on this stage, I can stand up in front of the investor, and I can just pass a statement where I say that you keep smiling whichever way the market moves. So what have we created? Everything that I have said, we just thought, can we create it? Can we package it? We just saw one solution like that in a video before this, and I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more about the solution that we have created for you as a community, where we say that can we create a all-season idea without you being worried about what to buy and what to sell. So let's talk a little bit more about the model that we have created. We have created a model where we say that we will look at the price to book value of the market, which we believe is a very, very good indicator of the valuation. And we say that as the price to book value of the market keeps on increasing, you start reducing equity and vice versa. The best part is you do this on daily basis, which we believe is practically impossible for the investor to do this on a daily basis. If this is what we do. How does it reflect on a chart? So we have just put a small snapshot of a last quarter where we said that can we create a product which just mirrors the market on the opposite side. It has a very, very inverse relationship. So just to give you an example, how do I create a product which will have very high equity exposure as the markets are lower and will have a lower equity exposure as the markets are higher? And just in the slide, if you can see that at an index of 20,000, you had a 75% exposure to equity, but within a short span of time of 1 month, as the index moved up by 15%, your equity was cut from 70 to 64%. But this is just a short period. I think this is valid for last 4 years. For the last 4 years, you have created a product, we have created a product which runs an inverse relationship with the index in a very, very disciplined price to book value model. But the question that you should ask us, look, if the model says that you're going to be sub 65% into equity, how are you going to help me in taxation? Is this tax efficient? It's something which I can do on my own. I can develop my own model as an advisor and I can do it on my own. And I think the big point that I made, is it tax efficient and is it operationally possible and convenient for you? Here we are only trying to say that at all points of time you have an open equity exposure of 65%, and as the model tells you to go and reduce the equity exposure, you start using derivatives, you start hedging the portfolio. These are live examples where you say that you've plotted the price to book value, and as the price to book value keeps on changing, your net exposure or your exposure to equity gets changed as per the price to book value. And all this in a very, very tax efficient manner. Just some more data. So we've taken almost, there is a 4-year track record that the product has. And if you take any 3-year rolling, and which we believe would be a period or a cycle in which the investor invests his money for that time frame, you have 0 observations where the returns have been negative as far as the product is concerned. But what excites me at this point of time is that if you look at the 10 to 15% bucket range, and that we believe is the range, this is where the investor is. This is where if you can get the investor over there, he's a happy customer. This is where you substitute his need to buy a fixed return product. You have 162 observations in the entire data, which captures the need of the investor of creating the 10 to 15% return over a holding period. What we have also done is last year post-budget, when we realized that the dividend distribution tax for the investor has changed, and now the monthly dividend that he was getting had become more tax inefficient, we tried and we created a monthly dividend option into this product. This product has a track record of paying dividend every month. At the current NAV, the yield is almost 7% of tax-free dividend. So the whole idea here, and if I have to, I'll keep the presentation very short. The whole idea here to summarize is that asset allocation is required. For your goals, you need to manage that asset allocation. The whole problem is that how dynamically can we manage it? How can we manage it in a very, very tax efficient manner? How do we manage it operationally? And is the investor ready to change his asset allocation dynamically depending on the need of the market? And as a fund house, we thought that can we give a solution to that whole need of the customer on the other side. Just to showcase, there are believers. The fund has grown tenfold. We believe that if I have to take an example, there was a situation where there was a time when you had all your private sector banks coming and starting the whole concept of ATM. I remember when I was in college, that first card was a dream one. And today, I think that entire technology and ATM has changed the way we do banking. It has brought in a new revolution. We believe that asset allocation concept where auto allocation happens in a tax efficient manner will help the industry, will help you to grow much more from here on. So let me end this on the note where I say that keep smiling whichever way the market moves, and hope that your customers keep smiling irrespective of whichever direction the market moves. Thank you so much. Thank you.
so many people wanting to make sure that the life of the advisor is better. DSP BlackRock was talking about similar things. Now ICICI is also talking about similar things. So that means they recognize that our life is not great. Our life is hell, and that is what we want to change with this dynamic asset allocation fund. Now balanced advantage. I'm sorry, balanced advantage fund. So that's one recognition of that we are doing a tough job, and that we need to smoothen our life, and also do justice to what Mr. Talwalkar was saying, that while making money, you have to take care of this 3 crore worth of body, and imagine the kind of compounding effect it will have over 40 years, and we are doing a discounting effect around it. So, and one thing which I thought was very relevant, which was missed out while summing up the last Talwalkar sir's session, was that he was talking about a 5-year plan at the age of, he was talking actually about a 40-year plan at the age of 82, and we don't have a 5-year plan on our business. How are we going to change if we don't have a plan? And I think that was brought out by him so very nicely. I am taking a lot of takeaways here. I hope you are also taking away a lot of nice things. Amar, it was wonderful. You have hit the nail there, bang on. ICICI is doing a phenomenal job on that. Can I request Nikhil to do his part of the job of giving a token of love and appreciation?
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And Amar, I have a special thank you for you. You're the one who have given me 5 minutes of time. So earlier I was going to be very harsh on you by allowing you only 30 minutes of time for food. Now I am going to be very liberal, and you have 35 minutes now. I request you to please come back by 2:35. Thank you.